Hello and welcome to the Burt Locker. I am Burt Green. This is basically a sports /MMA it's just a comedy kind of sports show that I talk about any sports that I'm really interested in. Those being mixed martial arts, NFL, bit of NASCAR here and there, and whatever else really takes my fancy. So this one specifically is going to be looking at the recap of UFC Sao Paulo that took place. Literally, I just finished watching it because I watched the replay on a Sunday morning. But this was a Sunday afternoon because I decided to go to the gym. And so I didn't watch it first thing this morning. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, isn't it? So it was a pretty good event, honestly. I'm also going to be talking about, I have taken some time to digest Ngannou versus Fury and whatever else is in the MMA news. So let's get cracking. UFC Sao Paulo had some really good fights on it. The main kind of takeaways that I had personally was I thought Angela Hill did a good job. I'll be totally honest. I thought Denise Gomes was going to be too much for her. But Denise Gomes, she's looked really impressive, but she hadn't fought anybody at Angela Hill's ranking. But Angela Hill's got a salty record, but I think it's just because she's been fighting for so long and she's fought so many good people, to be totally honest. I thought she looked very, very good. She just beat her in every facet of the game, so fair play. Who else was... Vitor Petrino looked instant. Like, I mean, that was always on the cards when you got these two guys, Vitor Petrino and Modestas Bukauskas, both two big lumps, you know, and they're both kickboxers. They're both throwing heat. Vitor Petrino, when you look at his build, though, man, I mean, oh my god, he's just got bulges it's just the way his muscles just bulge out. His cup is gigantic. He must be hanging dong as well. But anyway, he's also got a hell of a left hook. Unbelievable. He just caught him with it and it was lights out. It was a very impressive knockout. If it hadn't been for Elvis Brenner, it might have been the knockout of the night, honestly, because no surprises there. Just I didn't know it was knockout of the night, but that's the one I would have picked for knockout of the night, and yeah, it did. Yeah, Elvis Brenner got knockout of the night, rightfully so, because it was. Tell you what, it was really weird. It was go back and watch it if you can, because it wasn't the cleanest punch, and it didn't even look like he even really connected, but he just connected like right on the ear. And the guy just went, boom, face first. You know, sometimes those face down, face first knockouts, they're just nice. They're just fun to see, aren't they? I mean, look, we're fight fans. We pay for blood, you know? Every now and again, we want to see somebody get... Look, obviously, we hope the fighters are okay. We don't want them to be kind of, is that Pacheco? Sorry, I must apologise. I didn't realise that the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Miami Dolphins was on this afternoon. So, yes, it was McKinnon. Sorry. Basically, one of my rivals in the fans. I'm not even playing him this week. He just really rates Pacheco and I don't. And anytime Pacheco, it's been brought back by a flag anyway. Right, I'm going to stop getting distracted by the game. Okay. Oh no, the penalty was on the defence. They declined that. It is a touchdown. McKinnon. Apologies. Back to the point at hand. Elvis Brenner. He's looked very impressive twice now, and that knockout, it was nasty. Which is always nice to see, because you want to see those kind of spectacular knockouts. But obviously, just hope the fighters are okay. I think he was all right. It's just he got caught right on the ear. That's going to take your equilibrium, and he just face planted, face first. That's two very impressive performances in a row for Elvis Brenner. I'll be totally honest. It was because he looked really great against Kutateladze. I didn't expect him to win that one, and he got battered for most of the fight and came back and knocked that. And this one, he just sparked the dude in round one. So future's bright for Elvis Brenner. Keep an eye on that kid. I think he does fight out of the shooter box camp with Charles Oliveira and Diego Lima, all those cats. I believe so. Because, none of them seem to have the bleached blonde hair anymore, which is weird. I thought that was kind of their thing. Anyway, I digress. Xiao Bravo managed to get a unanimous decision over Abus Magomedov. Honestly, I picked Magomedov in that one. Do you know what else is really weird? Like, they had Magomedov, billed at like, what, 6'2", and yeah, it was really weird. They had him down as the taller fighter, but I don't know. I was watching that fight. Barajo looked like the bigger guy. He looked taller, he looked bigger. Yeah, and that weird kind of fighting nerds thing. Look at you, dude. You ain't like just chiseled jawline. Look like you're carved out of it. You look like a Greek statue. Do you know what I mean? You're not a nerd, dude. Like, it's so weird to claim that. I've put my glasses on. I'm such a nerd. No, I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. Get a new gimmick. I say that every time I speak about Ciao Barajo. It was an impressive win, though, to be fair. Nascimento won. The other big standout performance, Nicholas Dalby, take a bow, sir. I apologise. I didn't really give you a chance in that fight, but just because it wasn't because I don't think that Dalby's a good fighter. I just thought Bonfim was just on another level. But Dalby looked absolutely sensational. Managed to get Bonfim out of there, which was really good. One thing that I also almost forgot about: majority draw for Fakhretdinov versus Dos Santos. I did say that Dos Santos, he might, I mean, obviously he didn't quite get the win, but he was a big outsider. But I did mention in the build-up that Dos Santos obviously beat Abubakar Nurmagomedov, like the fight before this one. They put him against another, Russian wrestler, and he seems to have this kind of answer for that wrestling style. He nearly finished Fakhretdinov in that last round. I think, Fakhretdinov got away with one there. He was very close to being. Honestly, he didn't defend himself for a long time. The referee could have called that, and I don't think he would have been all the way wrong, because literally, I don't know. He was taking a lot of damage, and he wasn't defending at all. So there was a point where I thought they were going to stop it. And then you had the main event, which was, it was a tough watch. Oh, now, right, I've seen a lot of the posts already about how MMA fans just they don't even understand what they're watching. If you watch kickboxing all the time, it's like, look, I appreciate the grappling. I appreciate every part of the fight game, but you are allowed to call a fight boring if it is, and it wasn't good. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being funny, but Jailton Almeida, if he'd have just been, he could have been using elbows, he could have been using a whole host of weapons. I do understand that he didn't want to let Derek Lewis up, but he was being too overly cautious. Look, if the referee is warning you on several occasions, you've got a guy in mount, and the referee is warning you that you need to work. That's not conducive to an exciting performance. It just isn't. Not going to pretend that it does. It wasn't an exciting performance. The only exciting parts of the fight were when Derek Lewis got up and started throwing heat, because he was the only one that actually seemed to have any interest in finishing the fight. And look, Almeida, is it an impressive win? Yeah. Was it impressive that he was able to control the fight how he did? Yeah. But was it exciting? And was it an exciting performance? Was it an impressive performance? Does it make you want to see Jailton Almeida again? Like, not really. No, it doesn't put his stock up in any way. All he did was play it very, very safe. And yes, winning is the first most important thing, but you have to be entertained. You have to be careful. If you're going to pursue that fight style, the John Fitch fight style, I like to call it, you've got to be careful, because yes, you could stack together a really impressive win streak, but you better keep winning, because if you're not exciting, then the second you lose, you're done. Now, I'm not going to completely... I'm not saying that the fight wasn't exciting. I'm not saying Jailton Almeida isn't exciting, because that's absolutely a ridiculous thing to say. He's a very exciting fighter because he gets finishes all the time. I think that's the first time he's ever seen a fourth round. Almeida is an exciting fighter. That fight wasn't exciting, so I'm going to move on from this point. What else happened this week? So yeah, obviously you had the Tyson Fury versus Ngannou. Bit of a weird one. bit of a weird one in that it's one of the few, right, unlike Mayweather-McGregor, there was a lot of hype for that, and rightfully so, and but this is it's a very rare case that it's actually, the hype is about the performance of Fury, not Fury, the performance of Ngannou. So the fight has become bigger after the fact. More people are interested in it after the fact than before. That is reflected in the pay-per-view numbers. There's been a very big argument between Chael Sonnen and Ariel Helwani. I'll put just a picture of these two up here. They had a really good go at each other. I watched the whole thing. Both of them had a point. Look, does Chael occasionally talk out of his backside? Yeah. Yeah, he does. But he wasn't on this occasion. He really wasn't. Look, and Helwani, he can say, yeah, I was just trying to say, well, will you just admit that that you were wrong and that this was a good move for Francis to move away from the UFC and everything like that. Now, there is a point to that. Yes, for Ngannou, this worked out brilliantly because he got his $10 million. He put together a brilliant performance that has put him on the map in boxing, so he's probably going to be able to parlay that into another boxing match, which will be even more lucrative. It's worked out for Ngannou brilliantly, and I will tip my hat to that man. I really will, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't think he would get the Fury fight, let alone be competitive in it. When the fight was made, I didn't think that it would even be a contest, and I was wrong. I was completely wrong, because, look, the reasoning behind the way that fight went, was it Fury perhaps not taking the fight seriously enough? Did he look a kind of step off? Or was Ngannou just better than we all expected? You know what? Probably a combination of all three of those, if we're being honest. But I would say congratulations to Francis Ngannou, because what a story that is. But Chael Sonnen should have really just said, yeah, on that point, for Francis, this worked out. Absolutely. But the other points that Chael was bringing up, he was not wrong either, because that was the thing that Helwani wouldn't concede, was that let's not pretend that fight was good business, because it wasn't. The pay-per-view numbers have now been disclosed. I think it was something like 10,000 buys in North America, something like 56,000 worldwide. That's I think a lot of people streamed it illegally. Not many people bought it, and a lot of those celebrities wouldn't have paid for their seats. The Saudis lost huge amounts of money, but they have the money to lose. So, look, is that the framework? Should all fighters now look at what Ngannou has done and say, yes, I should definitely do that because it was a great business decision? I would say, look, Ngannou, he won the lottery in effect. Like he did it at the right time, where there was some Saudis with some crazy oil money ready to just throw. It's like they're buying a piece of artwork. That's what they're doing. They don't care about making money on it. Look, because boxing is just largely a money laundering operation. Who knows the gambling kind of syndicates and things that were involved in that fight? But a lot of these boxing matches, they do not make money. I don't know how boxing is still a thing, other than it just being used to launder huge amounts of money, in all honesty. They pay these fighters kind of, Ngannou got 10 million. I have no idea what Fury got, but probably double that, at least. So at 30 million, you've paid just for the fighters. The whole setup, the whole pageantry must have cost an absolute fortune to put together. They did not make a return on that boxing event, and a lot of boxing events, unless you're looking at some of these influencer boxing matches these days, which a lot of people tune in for. I'm not hugely into them, but they do draw a lot of revenue. Like actual boxing matches, boxing events like Fury vs Ngannou, they don't make money. It's just they have people that don't care about losing money. And that doesn't make it good business. It just means that Francis Ngannou it worked out for him. And I'm happy that it did. You know what I mean? He's you know, he's really just fallen into, you know, he worked hard for it, but everything happened at the right time. He found some rich oil men in from Dallas. Sorry, from Saudi Arabia. It's just, yeah. So yeah, good for him. But I understand why Chael Sonnen was getting pretty irate with Helwani, because look, Helwani was saying, look, I was trying to celebrate Francis. It's like, actually, no, you weren't. What you were trying to do was do the whole smug "I told you so" thing. Like, everyone said that this was a terrible move for Francis, because look, Helwani is so biased against the UFC that it makes some of his reporting, some of his presentations just kind of ridiculous. But also, you know, everyone has their biases. You know, I think that Helwani, he started to come across as a little bit of a backstabbing, slimy weasel. Just a little bit. I could see why Chael was getting irate with him. I don't think he would have been saying a lot of that stuff to Chael's face, you know, if they weren't doing it by video. And yeah, look, Helwani can say, oh no, all I was saying was this. It's like, you know, the subtext of what you were saying. You know that. You were trying to be like, oh, you said, Chael, that this wouldn't make money and blah, blah. And Chael was right. It didn't make money. Francis made money. There's a very key difference with that. Francis made money, yes. The event did not. So was it a bit of a circus? Yes. But do people like going to the circus? Also, yes. So anyway, that's about all I've got time for this week. It's a good discussion. It's a good talking point. It really is. We've got a really good event coming up this week. We've got Prochaska taking on Pereira for the vacant light heavyweight title, I think it is now. And obviously you've got Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich in the co-main event. There's some ridiculous fights on that. So I'm going to be doing the full casuals guide with the full card preview, and obviously doing some terrible bets. There's also going to be some NFL stuff going on, fantasy NFL I like to look at. All of that is on the channel, so if you hit subscribe and hit the bell notifications, then you'll get notified when those videos dropped. And until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.